purposes of, Mr. DeCastro, I'm just going to ask you to let me make my findings on the record. The purpose of Ms. Peters' posts regarding Mr. DeCastro is to highlight information that Ms. Peter believes needs to be shared with her audience. Several of Ms. Peters' reports and posts about Mr. DeCastro have cast Mr. DeCastro in a negative light. Ms. Peter posts regarding Mr. DeCastro have led several of Ms. Peters' subscribers to comment negatively via a chat function about Mr. DeCastro, as Mr. DeCastro, who is also a person who broadcasts on a YouTube channel, broadcasts live. The court has received information and screenshots provided by Mr. DeCastro that highlights these chat messages that have been provided. The court takes note that Mr. DeCastro has categorized this as trolling, and the court finds it to be consistent with what it understands to be trolling. Mr. DeCastro has received numerous, by his account, hundreds of phone calls since Ms. Peter has been posting about Mr. DeCastro. Mr. DeCastro's mother, family, and friends have also received numerous phone calls. The court does not find, by a preponderance of the evidence, that Ms. Peter made these phone calls or that she directed these phone calls to be made to Mr. DeCastro. The court finds that while Ms. Peter posts the videos to YouTube, she has not communicated any true threat or fighting words to Mr. DeCastro or directed that any threat or fighting word be directed at Mr. DeCastro. There has been one communication with Ms. Peter directly to one of Mr. DeCastro's investors, but the court does not find by a preponderance of the evidence that that communication involved any true threat or fighting words. The court has heard evidence that Mr. DeCastro was at an Airbnb rental in Ohio, and his Airbnb host was messaged, and that someone by the name of Sean posted his location. Mr. DeCastro finds this to be concerning. I understand why he finds that to be concerning. Nevertheless, the court does not find that Ms. Peter posted that information or that she directed that information be posted. The court has also heard of an incident in which Mr. DeCastro was claimed to have been tracked by Ms. Peter in anticipation of a confrontation. That was Ms. Peter's words. The court does not find this reference to a confrontation to be a true threat or fighting words, nor does it find it to be akin to the surreptitious setting of a GPS device on a vehicle. In context, the court finds that this statement regarding her anticipation of a confrontation to be in regards to being served with a legal document, and the court finds that this reference confrontation was anticipated to be verbal, not a physical confrontation. With respect to the tracking language, the court finds that this information was broadcast by Ms. Peter. It was broadcast in response or based on information that was broadcast by Mr. DeCastro publicly, and accordingly that is not a true threat or fighting words. The court therefore declines to issue a harassment prevention order. I'm citing Kareem K versus Ida I, 100 Mass App Court 902. That's a 2022 case in support of my determination. The order is not going to issue.
What are my appeal processes? Am I allowed to appeal?
You certainly are, Mr. DeCastro. You have a right of appeal. My findings are on the record. I put them specifically on the record in case you wish to appeal, so that you have a thorough record of what I considered in my legal determination. you can consult the rules of appellate procedure as to how the appeals process proceeds. And to the extent that you need to get a copy of the FTR or the recording, you can contact the clerk's office and they'll provide you with that information, sir.
So if I did this to you, okay, let's see how it goes. I mean, we're not living under rule of law. You're just making things up as you go. You're just deciding because you don't like me and this woman's a big cop sucker.
So,
that I'm the bad guy.
Mr. DeCastro, it has nothing to do with whether I like you or don't like you. I'm making my determination based on the law, and that's why I put it on the record so that you can appeal it if you think that I'm incorrect. Okay, sir?
I think the court's a joke. That's what I think. What a joke, Joe. I mean, you're hearing it. You're hearing it.
It really hurts. It hurts. It does. I would break down and cry, but it's not going to do any good. And then people would just make memes of me crying and it wouldn't do me any good. Yesterday, I had a friend, and then today, that friend went to court against me. There it is. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, that's just, didn't say anything. It made no statement, made no comments, but went to court for another person that I was pressing a harassment restraining order against. Yeah, really did. Really actually did. I was not only blown away, I was hurt, but then the snake went to court today for someone else. After I called yesterday and said, "Hey, will you go to court for me? Because I gotta get this taken care of." And so, you're behind me? Hurts for sure, hurts. You got me, buddy. You definitely hurt me. Good job. So, I did list off. I did a lot of studying for this. I learned from my Tempe case that you really just have to sit down in court precedent. Is that for court today, I listed off all of the case precedent, all of it. I listed the case precedent for every one of my arguments because I didn't want to have a repeat of Arizona where I didn't have everything prepared. So this time I had everything prepared. I mean, I listed the case law that explains the reason why but according to the State Court of Massachusetts, it's perfectly fine to say that you're tracking someone through Discord. That's what was said today in court. How do I even know? How do I even know? The judge ruled against me. You know, I didn't get justice in a kangaroo court today, it's just the way it is. That's just how it is. So I think that I just wanted to address it because, you know, I think it should be addressed. You know, you can't be. Because what happened to me today, right? Most people, you know, I don't know. That's not true. I can't say that. Some people would certainly break down crying. When you go to great depths to explain the rule of law and show the case precedent to the judge, and then the judge holds against you and says, "Oh no, it's free speech tracking you down at an event and causing a physical altercation. It's free speech." Then, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm going to do. Next week, I will file in federal court a lawsuit, and I'll just continue to press forward to try to get justice. Appeal, obviously, and I'm going to file a federal lawsuit in district court because we're in two different jurisdictions, and we'll see if a federal court sees it as what it is. I can't say anything about location and stuff like that because apparently today the judge says it's okay for people to track you. That's right, it is a federal crime. It's a federal crime to stalk me against the law. And then this one right here, they tracked me last night. He crossed into Maryland last night at midnight. I love going to court. It's my favorite. It is my absolute favorite. It's illegal what they're doing. That's illegal, and I'm going to press charges. They're literally stalking me, and this really hurts. This is a federal offense. It really hurts. This is a federal offense. It really hurts. Hurts my feelings. So I can feel the pain in my head